a Rochester man is letting us listen in on his conversations with Ukrainian foreign exchange students that he's hosted. The first one stayed with him 10 years ago and is now back in Ukraine on the front lines of this war. The other is currently in the States watching this chaos unfold at home. 16 News Now reporter Jack Springate spoke with both of them and has their stories from our newsroom. So Jack, I can only imagine what is going through their minds right now.
Well, Ksenia Ship is the student currently living with Tom Weaver and his family. She told me it's not easy knowing the danger her family faces while she's away from the fighting, but that doesn't mean she's sitting idle. She's spending a lot of her time invalidating misinformation and keeping her schoolmates informed on the truth about what led up to this crisis. Now, the Weavers hosted Ola 10 years ago. When we spoke to her today, she was joined by her father, her child, while her husband rested after returning from the front lines on the eastern side of the country. Now, both of these women have everything to lose if Ukraine falls to Russian attacks. So it was hard for me to even understand how they could remain so composed during all of this. Ksenia actually turned 17 recently. She says she talks to her family every day to check in. They're living in a town on the western edge of Ukraine. She says her family has worked more to help refugees relocate and find safety than doing any of this fighting that's happening on the eastern side of the country. Ola lives closer to that combat in a town less than 100 miles from Kharkiv. She told us stories you could only know being that close to Russian troops. The risk to her is very real right now. And she says she never considered even leaving since the invasion began. Her only priority is to protect her family and her home.
The main goal is to protect their families and their kids. For me, task number one, protect my kid and to make that she will survive. We have many kids who were born in underground right now because people are hiding there because of bombing in Kyiv and other big cities.
Russian people not telling truth, especially like Putin and government. This is not like about Russian people. I have lots of friends in Russia that are very nice people, but it's about their government, what they are doing, and all the lies that they are telling the other people, which makes everyone mad.
Now, I just want you to let that sink in for a moment. Women giving birth in the subway tunnels underground because of the shellings going on at the surface. There's not much more for me to say, rather than let these stories end up speaking for themselves. Make sure you stay with us at 5 to hear the full story from our talks. But for now, I'll send it back to you, Lauren.
Yeah, very powerful to hear from them. Jack, thank you for that report tonight. New details on the pandemic.